Good evening, friends. It's December 19th, 2025. My name is Hunter, and hopefully everybody's had a wonderful week out there. The winter forecast just got crazier, and not in the way most people wanted. We're going to be looking at the upcoming winter weather pattern going through the rest of December, and quite frankly, it's a warmer pattern. As we go into January, some changes are on the table. It's just a matter of when those changes take place. In the next 2 minutes, I'm going to show you what's happening right now with two strong low-pressure systems. At the 5-minute mark, you'll learn about the record warmth coming for Christmas. And at the 10-minute mark, I'll reveal why the second half of January could flip everything on its head. But first, let me show you what we're tracking this evening, because there's a lot going on across North America right now. We've got a strong low pressure in eastern Canada that brought all that cold air and an Arctic front yesterday. A lot of precipitation as well to the eastern U.S. Another strong low pressure is moving through portions of southern Canada. It's now moving through southern Manitoba. That's going to be bringing some winter weather impacts as we go into the weekend, especially for our friends to the north there in Canada. Behind that low, we've got an Arctic high starting to develop. That will give us another shot of cold air for the upper Midwest the latter half of the weekend. As Psalm 147 verse 16 through 17 says, "He giveth snow like wool, he scattereth the hoarfrost like ashes, he casteth forth his ice like morsels. Who can stand before his cold?" Our friends up north are certainly feeling that cold right now. Let's talk about precipitation. There's our first system, 970 millibars. That is a pretty strong low there. Keep in mind, a lower number is a stronger low-pressure system. The blues show the snow. Tight isobars mean we definitely have some gusty winds with heavy snow rates, over an inch per hour up there in central Quebec and eastern Canada. Snow on the backside. A little bit of lake effect snow in the eastern lakes, bringing some of that snow into New England as we go through Saturday morning. There's our second low. This one's going to be on a weakening trend, unlike the last one, which was on a strengthening trend. But we're still going to be seeing some snow spreading through portions of southeast Canada, especially Ontario and Quebec and the upper Great Lakes region. This could re-aggravate some of those lakes for that lake effect snow for the weekend. Otherwise, it's all about Northern California and the West Coast. An atmospheric river is going to pummel the West Coast, especially Northern California. Very heavy rainfall rates and some heavy snow for the Sierras. Let's look at the rainfall. Notice areas again. Northern California is ground zero for what could be another 7 to 10, maybe 12 inches of rain between now and Monday morning, December 22nd. This could cause some significant flash flooding concerns. So much so that the Weather Prediction Center has a marginal risk of some flash flooding there in Northern California on Saturday. Then, a slight risk Sunday into Monday as the main area of moisture starts to move inland to Northern California. Monday, Tuesday, early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, that continues. Northern California, if you have any friends or family that live out there, make sure you're keeping them aware of the situation. And make sure to move to higher ground if a flash flood warning is issued. Where it's colder, that's where the snow is going to reside. Notice that's going to be across the mountainous areas out west, the Cascades in particular, the Northern Rockies, some of the Canadian Rockies. Although the Sierras see some snow, I don't feel like we're going to see a lot of it. I know it's been pretty lackluster this year so far in the Sierras. That's about to change. We're going to continue to see more snow up there into southeastern Canada. That's on top of our deep snowpack in Quebec and Ontario that we have ongoing. Now, that deep snowpack is going to give feedback to our temperatures because it's going to only enhance some of that cold air as we head into the weekend. We've got some of that colder air lingering around behind our Arctic front that's moving through the northeast. Then another reinforcing shot of Arctic air with some sub-zero wind chills moving back into the picture for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and New England as we go into Saturday night into Sunday. Make sure if you're heading out and about this weekend, especially the further north you go, you're bundling up. Make sure you are covered in layers and covering any exposed skin. Because especially at night, Saturday night and Sunday morning this weekend, frostbite can occur with sub-zero wind chills of 20 to 30 below in less than 30 minutes. At least the real cold Arctic air with the pinks, The 50 below zeros are staying up in northern Canada. But even in northern Canada, our friends up there, that's pretty cold as well. If you're in Yukon, the Northwest Territories, get ready for quite a bit of cold air. Now, here's where things change dramatically. Our fortunes will change as we go into Christmas week, as a ridge of high pressure is going to build in the nation's midsection. This is expected for Christmas Day as well. An amplifying trough off the west coast will only make this ridge even stronger across portions of the central and eastern U.S. for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Looking at those temperature departures from normal, this is the final 10 days of the year. It's pretty warm across the central United States, leaning 30-35 degrees above normal. That's very significant because remember, we're talking about a 10-day average here, not a day or two. This is sustained warmth. Look at Western Canada and even Alaska getting very cold for the last 10 days of 2025. That is feeding directly off that deep snowpack that is up in those areas. Looking at Christmas Eve, last-minute shopping, Wednesday, December 24th, warm one across United States, colder up in Canada. Christmas Day, temperature anomalies 45 degrees above normal central U.S. Pretty warm. Christmas Eve, 50s, 60s, middle of country, 50-degree line pretty far north, 32-degree freezing line pretty far north toward Canada. Christmas morning into afternoon, mild, start 30s, 40s. Catapult high temps Christmas Day into 50s, 60s, even 70s deep south, one of warmer Christmases in recent memory. As Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season. Apparently season for warmth, not widespread snow. Christmas week, main precipitation concerns, travel implications across west. Sierras need snow tires if going up in elevations. California, Christmas Eve and day, watch flooding rains. GFS model similar to European. Traveling west, especially California, snow tires if going elevation. Watch flash flood warnings, lots of rain. Mudslides also concern. Final 10 days, year 2025, very wet California and west. Little drier, not bone dry, across eastern seaboard southeast. Ridge of high pressure, clockwise airflow, pushes moisture more western plains than eastern U.S. that period. Looking for snow? White Christmas? Have to go north. Need passport up to Canada for really deep snowpack toward Christmas and New Year. New data shows stratosphere may warm up days after Christmas, post-Christmas leading toward New Year's Eve. Stratospheric warming could impact weather globally, North America, Asia, Europe. Watch as we go into January. Deep snowpack, Canada, Alaska, but look at Asia, especially Russia. Very heavy snowpack on ground. Russia always has deep snow this time of year. True. Actually looks higher than normal across Russia and Asia. Could play big role what we see North America. 1996, one of our colder winters. Many cold winters way back when. Recent winters been warm. 1996 January cold in Western Canada. Driven by snowpack, then cold shots into eastern U.S. 2000 also cold one, though big swings, fluctuations with temps. If I had to guess, this January mix of two could have warm spells, but when colder air arrives, could be potent across lower 48, southern Canada. Be ready when that unleashes. Week 1, January, 1st through 8th, cold Alaska, Western Canada, Western 3rd. Milder temps hanging on, not blowtorch, but mild in East 1st week, January. Second week, 9th through 15th. Mixed bag. Ups and downs, fluctuations. Dam breaks potentially 3rd week, January. Middle of month really time frame, winter comes back big way. Big ridge, high pressure, spiking up Bering Strait, Alaska. Pushes colder air further south. Could get nasty cold by late January if happens. Polar vortex comes back our side hemisphere. What mean for snow? 1st week, January. Hit or miss variety. Surprise snow event wouldn't shock me. Midwest or Ohio Valley. Further south, simply too warm. Week 2, 9th through 15th. More clipper systems. Maybe weaker snowstorm or 2 Midwest Ohio Valley. Second half January, things get really interesting. Could see snow come back, snow line shifting far south into Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, through Ohio Valley, northeast. Includes I-95 corridor. More Quebec, Newfoundland seeing lots snow so far this season. Late January, pretty far south. First half, while looks snowy, especially week 2, really see ramp up second half. Snow cover United States, if this came to fruition, could flip on dime. First half could be really warm, maybe more rain events, some snow mixed in. Second half, January, whole different story. Lot major winter storms across US. Not just snow, but ice, real cold air. As Job chapter 37 verse 6 says, He saith to the snow, Be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. When winter comes back, it could come back with strength. This weekend, Upper Midwest, Great Lakes, New England, bundle up. Sub-zero wind chills Saturday night into Sunday. Frostbite possible under 30 minutes with exposed skin. Layers essential. Lake effect snow continues Great Lakes. Nothing major, but travel impacted. Check road conditions. Northern California, major flooding through early next week. 7 to 12 inches rain possible. Flash flood warnings likely. Flood-prone areas need evacuation plans ready. Mountains west, heavy snow continues. Cascades, Northern Rockies seeing feet. Sierra's finally getting action. Good for ski resorts, bad for travel. Next week to Christmas, warmth builds. Tuesday, Wednesday, you'll really feel it. Temperatures rising significantly central and eastern U.S. Christmas Eve, warm across most U.S. 50s, 60s, widespread. Good travel weather, most places. Exception, West Coast, still active with rain, mountain snow. Christmas Day, one of warmest in recent memory many areas. 30s, 40s, morning. 50s, 60s, even 70s afternoon. White Christmas limited to far north and mountains. Need snow? Going to Canada? Or mountains? Post-Christmas through New Year's, pattern begins shifting. Not dramatic yet, but hints of change. Watch stratospheric warming impacts. First week January, mild continues most of east. Cold holds west and far north. Possible surprise snow Midwest or Ohio Valley, but not guaranteed. Second week, January, 9th through 15th, more active. Clipper systems possible, maybe snowstorm or two, though likely not major. Temperature, ups and downs. Third week, January beyond, winter potentially roars back. Middle to late January could see significant pattern flip. Snow line potentially far south. Major winter storms possible. Real cold air. Ice events possible. Winter lovers. Patience. Warm Christmas, disappointing if you wanted snow. But second half January could more than make up for it. Warmth lovers, enjoy Christmas week. Record territory warmth mini spots. Spring-like late December. Travelers, Christmas week. Excellent weather, most places. West Coast exception, prepare for rain. Mountain snow. Post-Christmas into New Year's could be trickier depending on pattern evolution. Bottom line. Winter forecast crazier because of extremes. Record warmth Christmas week. Then potential flip to significant cold and snow late January. Stratospheric warming is wild card. If happens as models suggest, major impacts on weather pattern January and beyond. Deep snowpack Canada, Alaska, Russia, fuel for cold air when pattern allows southward push could be potent. As Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 through 6 remind us, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. We forecast based on data, but ultimately the weather follows its own path. Stay tuned for updates as we get closer to Christmas and into the new year. This pattern is evolving. Details will become clearer. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment. Are you more of a cold snow person, or do you like warmer sunshine weather? Hopefully everybody has a wonderful rest of their Friday. Until next time, stay weather aware, and God bless.